Chad in Connecticut. You're live with Eric and V. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing well.
Doing good.
What do you want to talk about?
So in general, I guess I had grown up with a family that was Catholic, but due to, or Christian, I'm not sure the exact denomination, but due to certain circumstances, I never got involved in church. So throughout my life, I was kind of like the agnostic type, hey, anything can be true, who am I to say when I don't know enough about this stuff? Well, more recently, I got kind of involved with a lot of that due to the opinions of others, and I really wanted to do more research, get some more understanding. I came across Aaron Ra. A lot of his stuff made a lot of the claims of the Bible just like sort of fell away at that point. And anytime I get involved with a discussion of anybody who is in a with a religious backing, my main point is the shots that I get back are always, well, before you try to say anything, you should know more about what you're talking about. And when I'm pulling direct facts, they're like, yeah, but you just don't get it. And I always try to approach the subject. Yes. Yeah.
I got that, and so I read the Old Testament, right, as a non-believer. You know, I've read plenty. Okay. Not the Old Testament, sorry, the King James Bible, right? I read the King James version of the Bible as a non-believer, and I was like, okay, now I'm set. And so I went and had a conversation with a Christian, and they said, well, what Bible did you read? I said, King James. They said, no, that's the wrong version. No wonder you got that all messed up. You need to read an English Standard. So stupid me, I read ESV. And I read ESV, and I was like, well, the language was easier to read, but the story was still the same. Can we talk now? Right? Do you know what I got? King James, ESV, what? New International Version.
Yep. Right? The Holy Trinity right there.
Yeah. And so really, honestly, if somebody wants to hand wave away why they think that you're not qualified to talk, they'll do it no matter what you do, man. Don't go by their standards. Essentially, what you can say is this: does God need me to have a degree to believe in him? Right? Do I need to do this much study? Is that what the requirement is for your God? Because I thought that they wanted everyone to be saved. But if you need to have this degree of scholarship, then I don't think your God is very interested. And if that's the case, then obviously everyone needs to jump in on this, or else they're not going to get saved.
Yeah.
Right? I mean...
It just seems to turn into a lot of more preaching to you when these people approach you and they want to have a discussion. You're open to having a discussion. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've had a couple of very good ones, but then the people who you brought up a couple of either bad things, a couple of things that don't match up, and it turns into them preaching to you instead of listening or having a civil discussion, I guess.
One thing that I would suggest is to check out street epistemology. Have you heard of that phrase before?
I've seen some of Anthony Magnabosco's videos.
Yeah, generally the way that he approaches it, and people who do that approach things, is that expecting somebody to turn on a dime because of facts that you've got, or because you are telling them something that is true, is not generally the way that you make that impression and you keep a conversation civil. Because if you have one fact here, it might be a right fact, it might be true, but they can just present one of their facts, and then you're in this whole conversation about something that isn't the main point. So what you can do in order to keep things from getting hostile, and in order to keep it an actual flow in conversation, is to ask them questions and get them to give you their definitions of things and get them to explain themselves to you. So if you're in the position of asking the questions and then listening, actively listening, because not just, waiting for your turn to talk isn't the basis of a good conversation. If you are actively listening and asking them the questions, they are going to feel heard, and they're also probably going to dig themselves into a ditch.
At which point, give them those tools, because that's what's going to help. Essentially, you should not be teaching people what to think. You should be teaching them how, because it's going to help them everywhere. And maybe it'll help them at a benign place in their life where they're less afraid to use it. But giving them that tool set means that they're actually going to understand why things are this way. And that's going to have longer-term results. And V's absolutely right. They're not going to listen if they're taking it as we're all waiting to take turns to talk at each other.
Right. And it's not going to happen with one conversation either. And it might not even, I think this is a Mattism, it might not even be a conversation with you. You might not be the right person to finally push them over that edge into more logical thinking. But if you're the one who's brought it up once or twice before, and that's all you can do, that's enough.
Yeah. For most people that I've met, it's not a turn on a dime moment. It's a death by 1,000 cuts.
So it's sort of just asking questions until they don't have answers anymore, and then there's going to be one straw that breaks the camel's back, is what you're saying?
Well, Socratic questioning, yes.
Okay.
And if people think, oh, well, that's just cruel. No, we do it to ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Every day.
And it hurts. There's a reason why, Socrates compared himself to a gadfly. It's not comfortable, but it does keep us living authentic lives with as many true things and as few false things as possible in them. And so it's worth it.
That's sort of been my thing, is because I've always been somebody interested in science, interested in how and why things work, and trying to get the best possible answers. And then sort of, again, coming to more of a point in my life that it's that doesn't work with everyone.
Right, and it won't. But a good thing to keep in mind is that once they do hit that final question that they can't answer, and they are stumped and they're maybe a little bit flustered, that's the time for you to kind of step back and say, okay, I'm going to let you think about this. That's not an in to go, ha, I'm right, because that's going to close them off again.
No matter how cathartic it is.
Right? Even if you really want to.
Yeah, like I did with that last call. Right? That's not.
Oh, I felt that you were.
Yeah, that's. It's pandering. It's pandering. Let's be honest.
But
good TV.
It's not really the semantics of it that I guess I'm all terribly interested in. It's just the discussion becomes more of, I think you guys have used the word gishgallop, where they just start claiming things left and right. And yeah. Example from what happened earlier today. That precept line, how do you have a standard for what is good and what is bad? Cool. We can describe it. We can explain it. We can justify it. Call them on theirs. I'm tired of this bullshit. Anyway, Chad, I hope this helped. Thank you very much. I'm going to try to incorporate that more if that situation arises. And have a great day, the both of you.
You too.
For sure. You too.
Thank you, brother.